Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central. Welcome to the award-winning In Wheel Time car talk show. Coming up, we visit the Savoy Automotive Museum to talk about barn finds and other things. Later, Jeff will bring us some of today's car culture. Why did so many cars have vinyl tops back in the 70s?
We'll find out.
We're going to find out. Jeff knows it all. The great Karnak speaks. And I'll review the GMC Yukon.
Vehicle.
No, I just wanted to make sure that I did it right.
You wanted to make sure he pointed out that I made a typo.
No, I didn't want to point that out, but I did want to make sure that I wrote it down the correct way. You know, it's that time of the morning. We all just
typed it several times, didn't you?
Before we get to Mary Agrusa with the Savoy Automobile Museum, I wanted to speak just for a moment about the tragedy that happened on July 4th over in Kerrville. And I got a nice note from Kimberly Schultz with Stellantis. She's our connection, and I've known Kimberly as long as I've been doing this, which is like forever. And she addresses us in the journalist by, "Hello, my fellow Texans. Like many of you, I'm saddened by the loss of life and homes from the flooding in Kerr County. I have family in Bernie and New Braunfels, essentially both sides of the Guadalupe. Thankfully, they did not incur any harm or major damage, but my heart goes out to so many impacted last week." The Ram trucks at the forefront of everything. They posted "Nothing stops Texas. Ram is ready to help." That's why we're giving $500,000 to United Way, San Antonio, Texas, which is part of that area out there, to support flooding recovery efforts for Texans in need. And you can go to United Way, SATX, for more information on that. Toyota, who has a big factory out in the Hill Country, along with several affiliates and Toyota and Lexus dealers across the country, have come together to support flood relief as rescue efforts continue in central Texas near one of the automaker's key U.S. assembly plants. Independent distributor Gulf States Toyota, which is here in Houston, along with dealerships Southeast Texas Toyota and Vic Vaughn Toyota of Bernie, have also answered the call, bringing total donations for Toyota and its partners to more than $600,000 so far. In a separate announcement, Houston-based Group 1 Automotive said it's donating $250,000 to the Community Foundation of the Texas Hill Country. Group 1 said its Texas presence includes 53 dealerships and about 6,000 employees. CEO Daryl Kenningham said Group 1 has offered additional support by pledging $50,000 in matching funds for donations made by Group 1 employees. And the list keeps on going and going, and I have extensive coverage of all of that. And I did want to mention that I opened my wallet a little bit and gave to SamaritansPurse.org. That's an organization that I give to occasionally, and offer that as well. Okay, enough of that. We move on with the show. Thoughts and prayers with all the people out there and all of the rescuers that are still out there in the Texas Hill Country. Let's go to the Savoy Automobile Museum. We have spoken with her before, a wonderful human being, Mary Agrusa. It is so good to see you and to hear your voice this morning. How are you?
Just fine. I think the last time I talked to you, you had sent all the monsoon rains up to us and it was pouring. And now today it's bright sunshine and hot. But we have been watching what's going on in Texas, and we're sending our prayers your way that things there get resolved, and our hearts go out to the people there that have been impacted by the flooding, because we have our share of it here, but not on the scale like that.
Yeah, I don't think anybody has ever had a scale like this. We were talking off the air earlier, and, you know, we have hurricanes here along the Gulf Coast, and yes, people do lose their lives, but not like this. It's quite frightening to see the video as that flood was happening. I've never seen anything like it in my life. So at any rate, we're moving on. Let's go to Georgia and go to Cartersville, Georgia. Where is Cartersville, Mary?
We are on I-75. We're about midway between Atlanta and Chattanooga, almost like at the sweet spot, halfway. We're considered northwest Georgia, far enough out of the Atlanta traffic and far enough from the Chattanooga traffic that you really get out into the country when you come here. And Cartersville, Georgia is now going for the designation of Museum City. We have 4 major museums here. We have the Booth Western Art Museum, the Telus Science Museum, the Bartow History Museum, and then the Savoy. And we're all part of one family, and the generous donation of a local family who we're not allowed to name, who when they sold their business, poured a lot of the money that they made into the community, building museums and also a teacher's resource center.
How wonderful is that? How lucky are you? Are you a long-time Cartersville resident?
For about 20 years. We were in Florida before, so no, we are not natives. You can tell that by my accent. I don't sound like a Southerner. I can fake it sometimes, but not very well.
Yeah, well, that's okay. Well, we're glad to have you on the show with us this morning. And I thought that we would begin. You have separate areas. Well, they're all really under one roof, kind of. But the one area that I wanted to focus in as we begin our conversation this morning is with your barn find section there at the museum.
I'll switch the camera around. I'll let you see it.
Okay. So you're standing in that area.
Okay. This is the barn finds area. We have the Corvette.
That was a barn. These are all barn finds.
These are, well, barn finds found in a warehouse.
Yes.
But of that, actually, this is Mr. Tom Cotter's Cunningham right here. He was here 2 weeks ago and did several programs for us. He did an afternoon program, a book signing, an evening book sign. He really helped us put a lot of this together. So this is his Cunningham. Back tucked over here is a Lancia. Now, I had always heard of Lancia, the Lancia Beta. When we lived up in Boston, there was this commercial, and I thought, oh, well, Italian car, However, then when I was doing the research on this car, I found out that in terms of European road racing, these were really important cars. Now, this one was actually imported to the U.S. by a gentleman by the name of Luigi Cinetti. I believe he was a Grand Prix winner at the time. He came over here. He was a Ferrari dealer. He brought this car over. His son, Luigi Jr., took it and ran it in Lime Rock. It eventually got sold. And this has a really interesting history because one of the people that owned it ran it in this Mexican race. And here is its tourist visa still on the side window of the car. And the way that it's painted is from that race. Well, Luigi wound up, this car was down at Amelia Island, I believe, in 2024. And Luigi Cinetti Jr. got a chance to go down there and reconnected with his car.
I noticed on the side it said Texas Auto Museum.
Well, it was eventually was purchased by someone down in Texas. He owned it. He was the one that put it in the race in Mexico. Unfortunately, the car did not finish, but they've left it in the position that is in. It was subsequently sold, and eventually it's now in the hands of a gentleman who lives up in Pennsylvania, and he owns the car, but he's left it the way that it was when he got it.
What do we have there? Is that a Mustang?
Yes, it is. It's a GT350, and you will notice the beautiful paint job on this. Well, this was found in a house that was just derelict, and it was under a car cover. And when they lifted the car cover off, you can imagine what happened to the paint. It got destroyed. Now, they've done a little bit of work to the motor. It runs like a champ. It just looks bad. In fact, when they brought it in, they told us, please don't wash the car because they don't want to lose any more paint than what it already has lost. But fully operational, but a really strange story in terms of where it was found. Last but not least is a really unusual car. Now, this one is owned by Jeff Hacker. He also helped us do the fiberglass cars. This is the one and only 1949 Packard Monte Carlo convertible.
Packard Monte Carlo.
But it was not built by Packard. It was built by Henney. And this was a proposal that Henney built. They hired a guy by the name of Richard Arbib, who had worked for GM. And they did a lot of Packard's professional cars, like their ambulances, flower cars, things like that. They wanted to get more business from Packard. And so they came up, they did a clay model of a hardtop, and then they went ahead and they built the convertible. And one little interesting note on this, if you can see where the white is on the wheel well here, if you were to go up underneath, that's the existing wheel well. They just took sheet metal and dropped the wheel well down over it. But the original fender is still tucked up under there.
Interesting. Okay, let's move on. I don't want to linger too much here. Let's move on to another section, and I'm going to let you pick the section of the museum that you want to show us.
Okay, what we've got leaving tomorrow night are the fiberglass cars. They will be leaving us tomorrow. Jeff Hacker, who helped us with that car, also helped us with this. A lot of these are like one-off, one-of-a-kind. Back in the day, you opened up your car magazine, there was a car body on the back. And, you too, for a couple $100, you could get, something that you could put on your MG or your Volkswagen. And so these are the fiberglass cars. And so we like to say that 50 years ago, there was a movie that said, just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water, and that was Jaws. And so we tell people, just when you thought it was safe to come back into Gallery C, we have the shark.
The shark. I love that. So is this owned by one person, this collection?
No, this is a variety of owners. Jeff Hacker, who owns the Pontiac, also owns this car. He bought this secondhand when he was 18 years old. He's owned it for 47 years. He had to learn how to do fiberglass repair when he got it. He drove this thing as a daily driver as a kid. He said he will not do it now because it sits so low to the ground. It's just not safe, but it is fully operational. And when he comes to pick it up, I hope he's going to let me at least sit in it.
What's that one? What's that behind
Go
it?
ahead.
I was just going to say, what's that behind it back there?
This is a fiberglass. It's a Lola. It's not the official Lola, but it is a remake of a Lola. The gentleman who did this took him about a year to put together. However, the last car that he built, it took 17 weeks start to finish.
My gosh.
He likes building them more than he likes driving them. And one of the things that when they came down and did their program, they said, if you want to tackle something like this, unless you really know what you're doing, chances are you're going to buy this kit and that car is never going to get built because there is so much work involved.
Well, that's encouraging.
Because I asked them, I said, now when you do, they said, oh, you got to get in there, you got to build your own interior. You're doing a lot of your own, the electrical. This car here, which is one of my favorites, this is the Novetta. And the reason it's called a Novetta, according to Steve Briscoe, whose car this is, the story is he's a stand-up comedian. So he said, well, this was done by an Italian designer. And when people looked at the car, they asked him, is this a Corvette? And he was like, no, Novetta. But this started out as a fiberfab Banshee body that he decided, okay, it has gull-wing doors. I don't want gull-wing doors. He put regular doors on it. And these, when you open them up, you can actually lift them up off the hinges, take the doors off. He redesigned the whole front end. He changed the wheelbase. And then there was he didn't say who the gentleman was, but someone who does a lot of high-end fiberglass work saw the car and asked, do you mind if I do the rear end of the car? And Steve said, well, yeah, except I can't afford you. And the guy said, no, I just want to do this so that I like what you're doing, and I want to add that to the back of the car. So this took him 20 years to build this car. And he said that he would go, his wife would come out and say, is that blankety blank still out in the garage? And for the longest time, the answer was, yeah. Well, now it's out in the garage, but it's finished. But everything was done. So give you an idea, these are the hinges for a Mini Cooper. But it was the only thing that he could get that would fit the angle of the car. He said, in retrospect, he should have built a body from scratch where he could have controlled all the contours, because he was having to just go and find parts.
Piecemeal it together.
That would fit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this is an 80s gasser hood, scoop that he had to change. He had to cut it down. He had to make it smaller. So there was a lot of work. So it explains why it took 20 years.
Mary, do you give group tours yourself that you take around the museum?
We do tours every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 11 o'clock.
Do you give them?
Sometimes I do. I mean,
because if I come to the Savoy, I'm bringing a group of friends, at least a busload, and I want you to lead the pack and take us all around and tell us all these neat things.
As long as you tell us ahead of time, yeah, then I'll be here and I'll do it.
Okay.
No problem at all.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
One thing here. Now, this is a fiberfab. Now, fiberfab was one of the first companies doing fiberglass bodies. They are still in business today. So they are one of the few that survived. This happens to be a Jamaican. This is the first car that came off out of the mold. This is the very first one that was built. The guy who owns it, his brother designed this car. And while he was an underage kid, he was helping his brother work on this car in the factory. But, he got away with it. So really interesting that fiber fab is still going on today. So the fiberglass cars really were a really nice surprise to have. For the most part, people never saw them. And so it was, and for Jeff, he really wanted people to, people, not only the people that own them, but he said a lot of the people that had these companies felt like they failed because a lot of them, the company never really survived. And so he felt this was an opportunity for him to be able to show some of these owners there's really interest in there. People like the cars. And so it's been a great exhibit. No
doubt. Mary, we're short of time on this segment,
okay.
And we're going to join you again at the top of the next hour. So for those that are joining us via a podcast, it'll be podcast number 3. So the top of next hour, we will join you again, pick another part of the museum, and we'll go through that with you. Is that okay?
We'll do the Studebakers, and hopefully if I can get a hold of Blake, maybe we can get the gimbal to cooperate, and it'll be a little better video.
Sounds good. Mary, thanks so much, and we'll talk to you in about 45 minutes. Mary Agrusa with the Savoy Automobile Museum. Just ahead, Jeff's Car Culture, why vinyl tops were the big thing back in the day, and a review of the 25 GMC Yukon. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues after this.
The Tex-Mex dining experience is defined by Lupi Tortilla, your destination for Texas's best beef fajitas and frozen margaritas. Since 1983, Lupi Tortilla has served authentic and time-tested recipes made with the freshest ingredients. Atmosphere is part of the award-winning experience at Lupi Tortilla, all developed in a little house near Highway 6 and I-10 in West Houston. Visit any of the Lupi Tortillas and you'll see the same attention to detail in each and every location. Start your Lupi experience with queso flammeado and guacamole, along with a classic frozen margarita. Dine on famous Lupi beef and chicken fajitas, or pepper shrimp brochette, or a fish or vegetarian entree, and finish with a scrumptious flan for dessert. Find Lupi Tortilla in Houston, College Station, Beaumont, Austin, San Antonio, and Dallas-Fort Worth. There's a Texas location near you. The recipes are authentic and time-tested. The ingredients always fresh. Lupi Tortilla, he's pretty good. Apple or Android, In-Wheel Time podcast can be found everywhere, on the stream and through downloads. Whether you're on the road or at home and jonesing for a different kind of car talk show, give In-Wheel Time a try. Honest new car reviews, fun, informative interviews with real car people, weekly automotive news, features like Jeff's Car Culture and Mike's Driving Destinations, all on In-Wheel Time. Check us out on SiriusXM Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or while you're shopping on Amazon, through Amazon Music. InWheelTime.com has a list, and we know you love lists. In-Wheel Time's back home now in the Sugar Shack studios, hopefully for the summer. And we hope you'll join us every Saturday, 10 to noon Central Time, for our live rendition of all things automotive. And we thank you for being with us today. Okay, time now for Jeff's Car Culture, a feature on 1970s vinyl roofs.
Well, it's more than just 70s. It's just the actual concept of it, because these days, if you use the word vinyl when describing a car's exterior styling, the first thing comes to mind, is especially for the young people, would be the colored vinyl wrap. It's not that. These days, a wrap is a cost-effective and relatively easy way to change the look of a vehicle. However, before the era of body wraps, when someone referred to a car of having a vinyl roof, it meant something more than just a rolled material and some adhesive, and vinyl roofs weren't done at home after the fact. They were done on an assembly line. The factory vinyl roof could be considered one of the most distinctive automotive styling trends, gaining popularity in the 1960s and lasting in various forms up until the 1990s before disappearing completely. Why do cars have vinyl tops? They weren't used to protect the paint or preserve anything or vinyl wraps. Nope, the vinyl roof was about style, and one more way to add color and character is during the time was with no waste storage of options or personalization off the factory floor. Vinyl roofs and other forms of fabric covers first began appearing on luxury vehicles, specialty cars, in the late 40s and 50s. It wasn't until the 60s that the vinyl roof option began to take off. Initially, the idea was to give fixed roof cars the more upscale appearance of a convertible. Go figure. Some automakers even offering things like flower patterns, even textures inspired alligator skins. At peak, their popularity from the 60s into the early 70s were the factory vinyl tops
so ugly.
available on everything from muscle cars to pickup trucks, even a C3 Corvette, Don,
Oh,
had a
yeah.
vinyl-covered
I remember.
removable top.
Oh, yeah.
In the 70s and 80s, vinyl tops continued to be popular, but shifted more toward the luxury car segment. In the 70s, especially, vinyl tops reached peak flamboyance, paired with things like opera windows. Buick and Cadillac were the last ones to offer factory vinyl roofs in 1996, though aftermarket and dealer conversions have long been available for those who really wanted the vinyl top look. I remember the Phaeton stuff. That was cool. While they may have disappeared from modern cars, if you go to a classic car show today, you'll see lots of vinyl roofs, many of them restored and recovered to look like new. Vinyl tops aren't loved by all classic car fans, though. When it comes to a vehicle restoration and bodywork, vinyl tops can be a bit more of a nightmare. For starters, the vinyl can be distressed, deteriorate, and exposure to the elements in more noticeable manner than traditional painted roofs.
Rust.
Really, for those rust and durability reasons alone, not so much the aesthetics shortcomings, the vinyl tops are regularly considered one of the auto industry's worst design trends and likely one that won't be returning anytime soon, Michael.
We had a Corvette, and this was a 69 or 70 Corvette, brand new, at Richardson Chevrolet, and it was red. But it had a black vinyl roof on it. They covered the T-top individual panels. Remember, there were two back then. So all that was, and it was like, do I really like that? I never could decide whether I liked that or not. Because they trimmed the edges with chrome.
Yeah.
And it was just...
They had to cover it,
It was jacked up. It wasn't until later that they went away with that one that I pointed out, how ugly that was, that they were able to tuck it under so you couldn't see the edge.
Well, I have a story. My dad, with General Motors execs and all that, my doctor had a Cadillac, and he ordered a vinyl top that we actually did in our garage. My father and I.
Do it yourself
We
vinyl
did
top.
it on a vinyl top. It was a factory vinyl top. He had all the materials and stuff brought in, and we did it in our garage. It was like February.
Did you
Oh, my God. You had to heat it to stretch
we had
it.
to heat the garage, and it was before heated garage. We had to get heaters out and all that and stretch it and glue and all that.
Straight to the paint?
Straight to the paint. Came out perfect.
You put the glue over the paint?
Yeah, you just
They
slather it
painted
on
the
there.
whole car.
Give you little Elmer's bottles and you squirt
Yeah, it
it.
wasn't Elmer's. It was that really smelly, ugly, yellowy looking stuff.
Golly.
Oh, that was a great story. Thank you,
Yukon,
sir.
right?
The Yukon, yes.
Yeah, okay, I got to find
Okay,
it.
all
There you
right.
go.
Yes, time now for this hour's car review. Chance to drive the 2025 GMC Yukon. It's kind of like the Suburban of the GMC line. Where does it fit? It fits between the Chevrolet and the Cadillac Escalade, as I like to call it. Okay, the final assembly location is, Arlington, Texas. The available trim levels are the Elevation, the AT4, the Denali, the AT4 Ultimate, and the Denali Ultimate. I had, drum roll please, two guesses and the first two don't count. The four-wheel drive Denali Ultimate, so this is the top of the line for GMC. It's considered a standard SUV, body on frame, seats up to 8 people in 3 rows. I don't know anybody that gets usually the middle row as a bench anymore. Everybody goes for the buckets. Anyway, exterior changes. Complete redesign was in 2021. They've had exterior and interior updates for this year. Again, it slots between the Suburban and the Escalade. New face is much more attractive than the outgoing model for me. A big 22-inch wheels are awesome. Quad exhaust tips and unique GMC lighting add a tuxedo look to it. Rear sunshade and just a splash of chrome add the class that you're looking for. What I liked about it, everything. What could use improvement? Nothing. Don A's A+ rating for the looks on this particular one. You saw it. Mm-hmm. Liked
Very
it?
nice.
Yeah, I
Very
think
nice
so, too.
car.
Interior highlights. Unique baseball stitching easily stands out and gives it the wow factor on the interior. Massive center stack, vertical screen, easy to read, and controls everything. Top-notch, comfortable, and supportive seating throughout. Steering wheel controls and changeable digital dash are top-notch as well. Plenty of room behind the third row, even with it up. Mm-hmm. And if you want to put the back end down, the back seats down, wow, you could put bodies back there. What I liked about it, everything. Love the second row screens behind the front row headrests and a climate control screen at the back of the center console for the second row. So even if you're sitting in the back, you got all the accoutrement that you like. 6.2 liter Ecotec 3 V8, 420 horsepower, 460 pound-feet of torque. 10-speed automatic transmission is like butter. Tow rating, 8,000 pounds, so 4 tons it'll tow. That would be your cabin cruiser, I think. Haul rating, 1370. Miles per gallon, 14 city, 18 highway for a combined of 16. I got 17.5 over 354.6 miles. What I liked about it, the smooth V8 power. What could use improvement? Let me think. Mileage increase, maybe? I'm thinking, why not make it as a hybrid? Leave the V8 in there, but hybrid it. Put an electric with it. So you lower the horsepower of the gasoline engine, but increase it back up with the electric. Just saying.
Turbo V6.
Or that. What I liked about it, the four-wheel independent suspension for ride and handling and magnetic ride control with air ride. It is like heaven. What could use improvement? I don't know. What more could you add? Price, base trim price of this. Base trim price now, $101,300. Price is tested, $107,285.
Yow.
Base model price, if you just want a Yukon, $66,900. There's a big price difference.
Really?
Does it come with
you
seats?
can get into one, $66,900.
But it doesn't have any seats.
It's a stripper, and it does. I think it comes with seats.
Okay.
Okay, so compare the base model price of $66,900 to the Chevy Suburban that starts at $61,500. So it's basically $5,500 more than the Chevy Suburban entry level. Ford Expedition, $57,345 is where it starts.
Okay.
And the Jeep Wrangler, $59,945. I'm sorry, I didn't say Wrangler. I meant to say Wagoneer.
Wagoneer.
Yeah, not
that's
Wrangler.
the big one, yeah.
Yeah, the big one. The Jeep Wagoneer, $59,945. So that's my review of the 2025 GMC Yukon built in Arlington, Texas.
It was a nice vehicle. It was. A lot of room in the back.
Yeah.
The second row is good. The
And
screens you talked about,
said,
they work great.
this is the middle between the Suburban and the Escalade.
I'm real curious. I'd be real curious to see what the 66,000 version had in it, because a lot of stuff they won't take out because it costs them more money to take it out than to leave it in.
Yeah. I'm sure that the big screen is in there, I guess. I mean, I don't know why not. Because you have to redesign the dashboard if you didn't have it in
put
there.
the small, yeah,
so
that would be interesting.
all right. Okay, so moving on, we're going to take a quick break, and we will start the second portion of this hour right after a quick break here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show.
You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. The award-winning In Wheel Time Car Talk Show now reaches 5.3 million folks each year. Check us out on InWheelTime.com, the Odyssey radio app, YouTube, Facebook, and just about every other entertainment source out there, including our live broadcast every Saturday, 10 to noon Central Time. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show has informative automotive guest interviews, new car reviews, along with popular features including Jeff's Car Culture, the latest new cars, cruise-ins, and racing dates. It's InWheelTime.com. Join us. That's it for this podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.